Hey there everyone, happy Wednesday and happy New Year's Eve. I am King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon. Here we go into the night, and the big focus will be the fog yet again. This morning we had dense fog advisories, freezing temperatures. Of course, we had to keep an eye out for maybe some black ice because of that freezing fog. For tonight, big issue is going to be, are we going to be able to see a clear view of the fireworks display here in Seattle at the Space Needle? And that's going to be a huge focus of this forecast that we're going to talk about here in a second. And we're going to go over quite a few of these weather cameras all across the region, just to kind of give you a picture as to what's going on right now and what we could be expecting as we head on into the night. We do have rain in the forecast for the first day of 2026. We'll go over that. Plus, we'll talk about how we'll see more showers here as we head on into the weekend as well. But let's go ahead and get into the forecast for tonight for your New Year's Eve. And we are expecting to see cloudy conditions and maybe a bit more of that fog. Now, the clouds are going to be low. Temperatures either way are expected to be rather cold in the mid-30s. So prepare for that if you're going to be outdoors here for any longer period of time coming up here for the night. But again, do we see enough wind to kind of help to scour the air just a little bit to produce a bit more of a clear view of the Space Needle and for our fireworks show, and for also that too, any sort of smoke that may come from off of the fireworks? We don't want that collecting around the Space Needle and also blocking the view of the fireworks display. So all that's going to come into play. We'll talk about the winds and how those are expected to be relatively light again heading into the night. Not going to say that the chances are absolutely 0% or that we're looking at a very horrible forecast, but it's not trending in the night direction for that to be the case. Let's talk about what we're expecting here for the next few days. We start off 2026 with a high of 44, some showers ahead for us, more of those towards the second half of the day, and then we'll have more chances as we head on into the end of the week. Highs getting back into the 50s at that same time too. All right, let's start our loop of the different weather cameras here. Wanted to show you this one right here. This is actually from our Avanti SchoolNet site in Olympia, and you can see that the clouds, at least the first few frames, are beginning to lower there, and that fog is developing. Last frame right there is actually going to be here of what's happening in Seattle. We'll talk about that here in a second. Next shot will be up into the mountains, and it kind of give you a little bit of perspective as to the higher you go up in the atmosphere, the higher you go up, the less that fog is around, and how it's so close here to ground level. So Stevens Pass, completely clear there. Hurricane Ridge, a lot of sunshine up that way. You're also seeing plenty of sunshine up here around Paradise as we're high enough that we're avoiding all those clouds and that fog. And over towards Port Angeles, things are not looking to be too bad for us either here, as we can see Mount Baker off into the distance there. Bellingham actually looking pretty decent too, and the farther north you are, the less of the fog we're really expecting here as we head on into the night. Granite Falls, Skagit County, looking pretty decent here as we head on into this Wednesday evening and into the first part of this Wednesday night. But then you head down across more of South Sound, Tacoma. You can barely see right now where we are seeing a few areas of clearing beginning to shape up, at least maybe a bit of a higher cloud deck right there, but it's still around. And noticing it, at least here, this shot and this vantage point of Everett, you can see that fog off into the distance could be rolling in here as we head on into the night. From the airport, things look completely clear, so that's good news there. But as you head farther south here around Seattle, you can see on the lower part of this camera, this is from our Columbia Tower camera, you can see some of the fog beginning to try to work its way back in, while higher up, you're not seeing much of any of that at all. Here we are looking from our T-Mobile camera here at the station, and you can see looking off into the distance right over Lumen Field, right over T-Mobile Park, that cloud deck is beginning to lower yet again. And then I wanted to show you this next to last one right here from our camera also here at the station, looking out towards the skyline of this city, and that cloud deck is blocking where we should typically see a view of the Space Needle. And where is that? Well, that is right there. The Space Needle should be right there, and actually the top of it should be more up this way right here. So not able to see it as of right now. Hopefully things again do start to change as we head on into the evening. Our Queen Anne camera showing things looking pretty cloudy and foggy here over the city, as temperatures didn't warm up much at all. 38 degrees as we get ready to head into that sunset hour, and we'll see temperatures drop just a bit more as we head on into the night, and that fog coming back into the picture for us as we head closer to midnight. Speaking of that, here's the forecast over the next 12 hours. We'll see those temperatures go from the upper 30s and lower 40s back down into the mid 30s and hold on to those here for the majority here of the night. And current visibilities, well, they're not looking the greatest right now. The farther south you are, the more fog you're dealing with, and over the Kitsap Peninsula too, as visibilities are around a mile, if not less, down to 0 miles there in Shelton across Mason County. So we're not looking really good at all here for many spots farther south. While as we look at the winds, you can see that's not helping us out either. You would like to see that wind at least at or above 5 miles per hour to help to start to blow some of this fog on out of here to get some more mixing of the air mass. Not really taking shape right now for us. More of that wind is out towards the south coast, but that is just about it. And temperatures, at least for the time being, are all safely sitting above the freezing point, so no worries about freezing fog as of right now, but something we might have to keep an eye out for as we go later on into the night with some of those cooler temperatures ahead. Here's the radar, and things are quiet for the time being. What would be nice is the system that is off to the south. If that came in just a bit earlier, that would definitely help in bringing a bit more wind back to the atmosphere, helping to mix our air mass quite a bit more. It's just not going to take place because it is going to come in just a bit later, and we'll see more of that wind as we head on into more of early tomorrow morning. So looking at visibilities here for us here as we head into the night, this is where we expect some of that fog to be around and to develop. You can see where you have those areas of gray beginning to pop up. That's where the fog is expected and projected to be here across more of the Kitsap Peninsula, parts of South Sound. And even this initial run of the model is not really picking up a whole lot on what's already right here because it's showing visibilities around 6-8 miles. And that's not something we actually have in place currently. So the actual readings and reports that we're getting right now kind of showing a bit more of that fog in place than what is actually being what's showing up here on models run. So I would probably take this with a bit of a grain of salt, but what it's showing is as we go deeper on into the night, continuing to see that spread wherever you see that gray and those deeper grays popping up. 10:30, here we are looking up closer to Seattle. Visibility getting down closer to 4 miles, and then here we are. Let's go ahead and scoot that back around midnight tonight, and you can see that's where we get closer to 0 miles around Seattle. So again, forecast not really trending in our favor for maybe seeing more of a clear sky for this fireworks display and having enough wind to actually mix some of the fireworks smoke that's going to be around the area. That might lead to maybe some poor air quality too, but for the here and now, our main issue is going to be, are we going to be able to see much, if any, of this firework display here as we head on into the night? We're going to try to do our best, but looks like for right now, the conditions are not looking to be too favorable for us. We'll see that start to move on out of here. And again, as we head into the earlier part of tomorrow, you see farther south that we're beginning to see much higher visibilities come back around because of that system that's arriving with the wind and also with more of the rain that's going to be coming on through. Let's talk about the wind, though, and exactly what we're expecting with that. So here into the evening, you can see we'll keep the winds around 5 miles per hour, and for many spots, a little less. This is 11:30, and we're still right around 5 miles per hour. Only saving grace we might have with this is this easterly flow coming from out of Snoqualmie Pass. That might help to generate maybe a little more flow around parts of Seattle. If we can get that and we can get a bit more wind around, obviously we can start to clear some of this fog on out of here, but it's just not looking to be too likely as of yet. That's what we're looking for here if we're trying to find anything. We'll head on into the day tomorrow, and you'll start to notice that those winds are beginning to pick up from the south with that system coming in, 12 miles per hour there in Olympia, getting up to 11 miles per hour there in Chehalis, 18 in Bremerton. So things definitely changing to quite a degree there at that point as the system comes in from the south. And speaking of that, let's talk about it because eventually we are going to see some shower chances moving in with that as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Farther south, Chehalis, even farther south of that, you might see some of those showers a bit earlier, but we'll keep those chances around into the afternoon. More kind of off and on and pretty light in nature for tomorrow during the day. As we go on into more of tomorrow night, we'll start to see some deeper moisture around, but let me back this up for you one more time and kind of show you and point out to what's happening here across the eastern side of the state, which is going to be some wintry precipitation, whether it's sleet, freezing rain, or mix of rain and snow. That's going to be around. Not going to be fun to travel in here over that way. Some limited moisture, but still enough to create some issues if it is going to be of the freezing rain variety. So going over that way, coming back over here, take extra precaution if you're going to be doing any sort of traveling over that way. We'll keep everything in the form of liquid over here, but again, not really expecting to see any sort of widespread and heavier rain until we head into the day on Friday. All right, tonight we're going to see our lows drop down near that freezing point yet again, so freezing fog will be a concern, and some of that black ice, especially on those bridges and overpasses where we get more of that airflow underneath to cool down the surfaces there of the bridges and overpasses, will be a bit more of a concern. 43 tomorrow for Orcas Island as we get ready to start off 2026. We'll top off at 42 in Blaine, seeing a high of 44 in Granite Falls, 43 in Oak Harbor, more of the mid-40s around Kingston and in Paulsbo, 44 in Bremerton, mid-40s around Issaquah, a high of 45 in Eatonville, Belfair, up to 42 degrees, Tenino up to 41. We'll keep the lower 40s around Centralia down to Longview, over towards Raymond, getting up to 46 degrees, Ocean Park at 47, hitting a high of 47 in Claylock, Quilcene up to 46, Squim will hit 45, and seeing highs top off at about 44 degrees there in Port Angeles. Here's your 7-day forecast. Looks like we are going to see things turn a bit more wet as we head on into the first few days of 2026. A bit milder, too, as highs start to find their way back into the 50s for both Friday and Saturday, and then cool down at least a little bit heading into the start of next week, and we'll cool down even more so as we head on into next Wednesday with some heavier rain expected to come in with that system right there. But, yeah, the big story will be how much of the fog will be around for tonight. I don't want to completely dash anybody's hopes of not seeing a great fireworks show or display here in Seattle, but just keep that in the back of your mind that if you get here and you do see some of that fog around, that you might have some limited viewing of that. Okay, everyone, well, have a great New Year's Eve either way. Happy to make our way into 2026. Have a great day tomorrow. Happy New Year's too, and we'll talk to you soon.